I guess that's only two of us. So I will start the recording. First, I will talk about our final exam, which will be next week. The final exam will be identical as our midterm exam. So I will post the final exam questions this weekend. And you have next Monday and next Tuesday. So you have 2 days to work on the final exam. It will be a 2-hour exam, so that's the only limit. You are limited 2 hours. So when you take a final exam, make sure you have an uninterrupted 2-hour block of time to get that done. Other than that, everything will be identical to your midterm. The only difference, one is 2 hours, one is more chapters. So that is a midterm exam. We covered chapter 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. That's 7 chapters. Final exam, another hour. We will cover 7 more chapters, which will be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, plus 20. So those are the chapters. Will be 7 more chapters. And it's open book, so make sure you read the book, hopefully before the exam, so you will find the answers faster. Otherwise, if you're trying to find the answer you never read before, maybe 2 hours is not long enough. You might need 2 days. But unfortunately, you only have 2 hours to take the exam. So that's all you need to prepare for the exam is read the book so you know where the answers are before tackle the problems. So any questions with our final exam? I posted before Sunday. So this weekend I will work on the problems. I posted. You have Monday, Tuesday, 2 days.
Yeah, why don't you give us 2 days to work on
it? Good question, because that's an alternative. Think about it. Give it 2 days. Make it too easy. Anyway, it may only take you an hour.
I mean, like 48 hours. That should be the time limit.
Maybe 3 hours. I don't know. Think about it.
I said
way too long because you fall asleep.
I'll set for 3.
You start eating. Too many hours. Yeah, maybe 3. That's a good choice. Good. We meet it right in the middle, right? Make a good compromise.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Anything else?
Nope.
So let's move right into our last chapter. Last chapter may be the chapter most technology you use every day, cell phone. So everybody is stuck with their cell phone. I was checking my screen hours. Before, I'm average about 4 hours of cell phone usage, but this year, average it looks like 7 hours, 8 hours. I'm surprised I'm using that little phone so much time. Unbelievable. But well, if you spend so much time on cell phone, maybe we want to know more about this technology, cell phone technology. So first, where does the name cell came from? Cell. So we used to call it just a telephone. Now we call cell. Where does that name came from? The name cell came from this. So the phone is connected to the tower. And every tower cover a cell. So this is where the name came from. It's a cell. The cell can be small in high densely populated area, like an urban area. In rural area, the cell can be large, like a 20 mile. So this cell cover a 20-mile range. The smaller cell, 5 mile. 5 mile. So that's a cell. Where the name came from. Anywhere between 5 mile. Now it's getting even smaller. We'll talk about that later. Called a micro cell or small cell. Small cell. The small cell is getting smaller and smaller. But that's where the name came from. In United States, the base station, 30,000 right now. That's a couple years ago. 30,000 cell tower. It's that is the traditional cell. It's not a small cell. Traditional cell, 30,000. So that's where the name came from. And then, if you pay attention, let's look at the technologies. We call it 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, whatever G. So generations. So it's basically 3 generations. The first generation called 1G. 1G cell phone, probably older than everybody taking this class, I would assume. So it's 20 years older technology. 1G. What is 1G? 1G basically is FM radio. Believe it or not, it's just a simple FM radio. So you talk over FM radio, the base station is FM radio, two-way FM. There's no privacy at all. The 1G cell phone, there's no privacy. Whatever you talk, everybody with a FM receiver can listen. Of course, it's not the FM station right now you listen to. The frequency are different. Maybe 200 megahertz or 300, 500 megahertz. So the frequency is off the FM broadcast. So it's not like you have FM radio, you can listen. But you can just buy an FM scanner. You can listen to all the cell conversations. That is how Princess Di of England, right, was caught. She was talking using the 1G cell phone, talking to one of her. So 1G is terrible. I still remember. I taught in Missouri Western 23rd year. This is 23rd year. I still remember when I first came over Missouri Western. I'm teaching communication. So when I'm teaching communication, what did I do? I use the scanner. So listen to the cell conversation around the town. So you basically know what everybody is talking about. Just use a FM scanner. Those are the good old days. Gone forever. Gone forever.
So you used to eavesdrop on people's conversations?
For research purposes, that's only for research. I was, because I'm teaching a class, at that time you can do it. Amazingly, same thing for the cordless phones. Not only the self-conversation is no privacy, all the older cordless phones, again, FM radio. So now you can also scan and listen to what your neighbor is talking behind your back. But that technology all gone. So now the second generation is a 3G and a 2G. 3G and 2G, that belong to another generation. 2G and 3G, there's no way you can eavesdrop without proper equipment. Even with proper equipment, you cannot do it unless you are you are those agencies with 3 letters, right? FBI, CIA, NSAs. Unless you are them, you cannot eavesdrop anymore. So the 2G and the 3G, same technology. One is called TDM. It's computer. It's a digital. It's not like an analog FM radio. It's a digital signal. It's two technology. One is called TDM. One is called CDM. TDM and CDM. So TDM and CDM, those are the two technologies used to make your conversation more private, so nobody can eavesdrop. 3G is the same thing. It's just faster. It's called WCDM. WCDM. WCDM is faster. It can reach much higher speed, almost to a megabit per second. Amazing speed. Today you will think that's extremely slow, but back 10 years ago, that is the super fast speed, because watching a movie only need about 300K. So if you have 1 million, you can watch 3 movies at the same time. That's very fast. Not the high definition, the low definition video signal. So that's 2G and 3G. They use TDM and CDM. This is time. This is code. We will not go into the detail of those technologies, but those are technologies disappeared also. So that's why we move on to 4G and 5G. So what is 4G and 5G use? Amazingly, almost all of them use FDM. That is the 1G technology, FDM. So 1G, we use FDM, basically FM stations. 4G and 5G, we go back to FDM. The only difference is we added another word in front of it called OFDM. OFDM. And also, instead of analog FM radio, we use QAM modulation. So the technology is much more sophisticated. Although they all called FDM, the 4G and the 5G FDM is much sophisticated. It's almost pushed the physical limit of how much data we can transmit. So this technology is the dominant technology today. It is used on Wi-Fi, used on cable modem, used on DSL modem, used on 4G and 5G. So just by the application of this technology, you know how good this technology is. The Wi-Fi 6, that's the highest speed Wi-Fi for today, Wi-Fi 6. Cable modem, you have gigabits, not bytes. Cable modem, you can reach gigabits with 16 channels. That means you use 16 television channels for download channel. So instead of 16 television, so that's cable. Right now I have 8 channel cable. That means half of the 1 gig. DSLs, same technology. So that's 4G and 5G. What's the difference between 4G and 5G? Is similar as 2G and 3G. 5G is just a wider bandwidth. We use a higher frequencies carrier, so we can have a bigger pipe. We can download a faster speed, reaching gigabits. So 4G, 5G, same technology, similar technology. Again, we will not go into the detail of area of those technologies. Why? Because that will take a semester. Not only that will take a semester, you need another 3 years of coursework before that semester as a prerequisite. then you can take this classes. You can fully understand the details about all those technologies. Are fairly complicated. This technology, amazingly complicated, but amazingly simple. That means one IC, they all integrated into one chip. If you look at your cell phone, I recently opened my Apple 10. I have a 2-year-old Apple 10. I opened it for repair. I was extremely surprised how little stuff they have inside. Almost an empty case. It's just 2 batteries inside. There's nothing inside. One board, one circuit board. So highly integrated. So this technology is very good to be implemented using today's digital chip. So these radios, I remember I talked a little bit of OFDM before, OFDM, orthogonal. It's all implemented in software and hardware combined. All implemented using digital circuits with a minimum analog components. I remember when we talk about the FM radio, I hope you guys remember that class. We talk about the FM radio, the latest FM receiver is tiny. It's all digital. So that's a similar technology. So, so that's the cell technology. 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. And what will be the next? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Right now, this is the best technology. Nobody knows what will happen afterwards. All right, the next topic will be the base station. Next topic, base station. So in order to use a cell phone, you have to have a base station. That is something you will probably see around your neighborhood. When you're driving around, occasionally you will see one of those cell tower, yeah, base stations. Like what we said, the base station in the United States, we have 30K, more than 30K base station. And that means a huge investment. The base station, generally, the radiation power is less than 100 watts. For example, 40 watts. So their antenna send out 40 watts. The distance is about 10 mile, 20 mile, or 5 mile. The smaller one has 5 mile range. So if we go back to that picture of cell technology, yeah, that's 20 mile in the rural area. In the Shenzhou, city of Shenzhou, you might have this 5 mile base station. The base station, in order to connect with more customers, the base stations are sectionalized. Sectionalization. Sectionalized means a base station like this has a 9 antenna. These 9 antenna form 3 sections. Each cover 120 degree. So these 3 cover 120 degree in that direction. The other 3 cover another 120 degree. The other cover 120 degree. So by sectionalization, we can connect 3 times customer, up to 1,000, a few hundred. So every cell tower can connect, for example, a few hundred cell phones. So that gives you an idea how many cell towers you have to have in Shenzhou. You divided the population of Shenzhou by 500, for example. That gives you estimate of cell tower around Shenzhou. So but we run out of base stations, obviously, because everybody is watching videos. Is a YouTube, is a video blog, whatever you do, you need more data, more speed. So that means the base station cannot handle it anymore. So this base station called a macro base station. We have 30,000 of those. They cannot handle traffic. It's 40 watts to 100 watts. It can handle a couple of 100 customers. About 5 mile to 30 mile range, 20 mile range, largest. So let's come to the next topic we call the small cell. Small cell. Small cell is the trend. So everything became small cell. Instead of the base station, what is a small cell? Small cell means a cell, the equipment is like a suitcase, or even smaller, like a shoebox. So the cell, all the equipment, including antenna, is all put together as a suitcase or a shoebox. So equipment is inexpensive and small, and you can put it around. So there are 4 different types of small cell, going from the largest to the smallest. The largest are called a metro cell. The next level will be called a micro cell. The micro cell and the micro cell, the radiation power is about 2 to 10 watts. 2 to 10 watts. Can handle about 200 customers, cell phones. Generally, the outdoor. So outdoor antenna, those equipment have to handle the environment. So it's more expensive, obviously. The range is 2 kilometers. What is 2 kilometers? That's like our campus. So we can have a micro cell to cover Missouri Western campus. It's about 2 kilometer size. The next level is called the pico cell. Pico cell handle 200 meter. 200 meter is not our campus. Our campus is way larger than 200. So that is a one building. A building will be a good choice for this pico cell. The power is much less, 200 milliwatts. It can handle up to 100 people or cell phone, 100 customers. Some of those are indoor, because if you just cover one building, why not you put it outside? You put it somewhere inside the building, indoor. The smallest one are called femto. That's smaller, even smaller. It can handle about 10 connections. The distance is 10 meters or to 15 meters. It's kind of like a Wi-Fi range. It's the same range as your Wi-Fi. So it will cover a couple of offices, a couple of rooms, or a residential building. So these are called the small cell technologies. So small cell, you have femto, pico, micro, and metro cell. The largest cell is called macro. So the macro cell is the big cell, cell base station, and then everything else is called a small cell. First, why small cell? Small cell has huge advantages. Not only speed, because small cell is inexpensive. You can put it a lot of small cells. So the smallest is literally the size of your shoebox. So it's very inexpensive. You can put it around multiple locations inside one building, provide cell service. Also, all those small cells have built-in Wi-Fi. If you look at the small cell, has Wi-Fi. So it can transfer heavy traffic into Wi-Fi instead of using cell radio, use Wi-Fi. So huge advantage of small cell. Another advantage will be our last topic, why small cell. I will show you a paper. Is using small cell, not only you can have high speed, also less radiation. This paper, I just read this paper before the class. If you read this paper, that is how much radiation of all the 4G equipment. So I personally, I know two of my friends died very young. They all had the same problem, brain tumor. I don't know why caused the brain tumor, but if you are using your cell phone, I would highly recommend nobody do this. Using your cell phone, use an earpiece. Do not talk when you talk on cell phone. The cell phone output power is about up to 100 milliwatts. That 100 milliwatts will go right through your brain. No good. That's no good. So make sure if you do talk over your cell phone, use an earpiece. Put your cell phone like arm length. Further away, the better. Do not put it right beside your most important part of your body, right? Your brain. Okay. So I read this paper. This is how much power your cell phone is actually sent out. Depend on four scenarios. The first scenario is indoor office, very little power. The second scenario is urban. So this is Wi-Fi. The first one is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is the best. Minimum amount of radio exposure. So by all means, if you have Wi-Fi, use Wi-Fi. The next is use cell radio. That's urban. The next is suburban. The worst is rural area. The rural area, you are exposed to 10 times, hundreds of times more radio exposure than in suburban, urban, and the indoor office scenario. I know a lot of us live in urban area, so that's bad news. So if you live in an urban area, do not use the Wi-Fi radio as much because chances are your cell tower is far away, can be up to 20 miles away from your cell phone. You know how much power, how hard your cell phone have to work to talk to a cell tower 10 miles, 20 miles away. Compare with using Wi-Fi, the tower is inside your house, usually next door, So it's much less power, much less radio. The radio frequency is similar, 2 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. Those are the exact same frequency the microwave oven. So if you're cooking using microwave oven, inside there's 100 watts of microwave oven, 1,000 watts. But when you're talking using your cell phone, that's about half watts, up to half watts. So half watts will not cook your brain, but it will obviously do some damage, potentially. I'm not sure. There's all kinds of research. So that is all the topic we want to cover. So about this cell phone technology. So we started with what is a cell? Number one, what is a cell? Second, 1G to 2G, 3G to 4G, 5G. Third, base station. Number 4, small cell. That's excellent because with small cell, you significantly reduce your next topic, RF exposure. Anyway, those are the 5 topics we cover today. So that will be the end of this semester, and I hope this Zoom class get the job done as good as in-person teaching. I felt with recording, that's an advantage. Yeah, every time I record, unlike in person, if you miss a class, you miss a class. So that might be one good thing about Zoom University, through Zoom. So we will have our final, and with that, thank you for the support all semester, and I hope you guys. I hope to see you guys, every one of you, next semester. All right. Any comments before I will about the test? About
The test is we're gonna do it next Monday or Tuesday. That's
yes,
when it's.
I will post it on Canvas this weekend. Yeah.
All right.
You pick a time.
Have you decided how many questions it's going to be?
Number of questions will be about the double as a midterm.
Okay.
Did you have enough time working on the midterm? 1 hour?
I didn't.
Yeah, it was a little close, but yeah.
Okay, then 2 hours is enough.
3. I thought we agreed on 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
3.
Okay, all right. Any other comments?
Yes, sir. What are the chapters that are covered in?
Okay, chapters. I covered that at the beginning. Those are the chapters right here. Let me stop the share, and hopefully you can see it better. Yeah, those are the chapters. One, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, comments?
Nope.
All right. I see you guys tomorrow. I see a lot of you take my computer design class. So tomorrow we will talk about more about eavesdropping. Okay. I feel glad you guys like the topic.
All right. Sounds good.
See you.
See ya.
See you.